On July 13th, 2025, the Formula One world finds itself analysing multiple interconnected developments that could reshape the sport's landscape. The departure of Christian Horner from Red Bull Racing has created ripple effects throughout the paddock, while Max Verstappen's future remains uncertain amid ongoing contract negotiations. Horner's exit from Red Bull has sparked speculation about his next destination. Sky Sports F1's David Croft suggests Alpine as the most probable landing spot, citing equity considerations. Horner has historically sought ownership stakes in teams, having previously pursued a 33% stake in Mercedes-AMG Petronas. This ownership desire makes Alpine appear attractive given their potential for equity distribution. However, several factors complicate this scenario. Alpine recently appointed Flavio Briatore, known for his micromanagement style. Horner, accustomed to operating with considerable autonomy as Red Bull's team principal, may find such an environment restrictive. Additionally, Alpine's current strategy focuses on increasing their asset value for a potential sale worth 1.4 to 1. Distributing equity at this stage contradicts typical fundraising practices when preparing for such transactions. An alternative destination emerges at Ferrari, where John Elkann reportedly seeks to replace Frédéric Vasseur with Horner. The Italian team's leadership structure and Horner's availability during his gardening leave period make this possibility more feasible than previously anticipated. While still under contract with Red Bull, Horner can negotiate with other teams, similar to Adrian Newey's situation. The circumstances surrounding Horner's departure reveal deeper issues within Red Bull's 2026 engine development program. Reports suggest his exit stemmed from performance clause activation related to the new Ford Red Bull powertrain project. Horner had complete oversight of this initiative, positioning him as responsible for any developmental shortcomings. Industry insiders indicate significant concerns about Red Bull's engine readiness for 2026. Mercedes appears to lead development, with sources comparing their current advantage to their 2014 dominance, suggesting a 30-40 brake horsepower superiority. Ferrari's power unit ranks second but faces reliability concerns that could require extended debugging periods. Honda's development initially struggled but may have resolved earlier issues. Red Bull's powertrain remains the biggest uncertainty, with multiple sources suggesting they lag behind competitors. These engine concerns directly impact Verstappen's contract situation. The Dutch driver has established himself as Red Bull's primary points scorer, contributing 165 of their 72 points in 20, representing 96% of their total. This dependence highlights Red Bull's vulnerability should Verstappen depart. Recent speculation linked Verstappen to potential Mercedes negotiations during his Sardinia vacation. While Kelly Piquet's social media posts suggested a typical holiday, the timing coincided with reported discussions between Verstappen and Toto Wolff. These conversations marked their first substantial dialogue since 2021, addressing past grievances while exploring future possibilities. Verstappen's interests extend beyond Formula One, encompassing sim racing and other motorsport activities. His recent Telegraph interview emphasized his involvement in projects beyond F1, stating that career decisions aren't solely based on Grand Prix racing. This broader perspective creates challenges for potential suitors who must accommodate his diverse interests. Red Bull historically grants Verstappen considerable freedom for external activities, recognizing his preference for racing over commercial obligations. Any competing offer would need to match this flexibility, allowing continued participation in sim racing, GT car testing, and other motorsport ventures. Verstappen's identity as a part-time F1 driver, full-time sim racer reflects his genuine passion for racing in all forms. Mercedes faces the challenge of restructuring their driver lineup to accommodate Verstappen. George Russell's contract expires this season, while Kimi Antonelli awaits his opportunity. Toto Wolff's willingness to make significant changes reflects Verstappen's estimated worth of 2 to 3 tenths per lap, a margin that could prove decisive in championship battles. Verstappen's ability to deliver exceptional performances when stakes are highest distinguishes him from other drivers. His qualifying performances at Monaco or race victories in challenging conditions like Brazil 2024 demonstrate skills that transcend raw speed. This clutch performance capability makes him invaluable to any championship contending team. In response to the threat of losing Verstappen, Red Bull considers unprecedented measures. Reports suggest they might offer him title sponsorship rights, allowing him to name either Red Bull Racing or their sister team, Racing Bulls. This arrangement would capitalize on Verstappen's global popularity while providing him with unique recognition within the sport. Such a naming rights deal would represent a significant departure from traditional F1 team structures, similar to how athletes in other sports have secured naming rights or ownership stakes. Verstappen could achieve a level of personal branding unprecedented in Formula One. This arrangement would acknowledge his central role in Red Bull's current success while providing additional incentive to remain. The interconnected nature of these developments creates a complex situation for all parties involved. Red Bull's engine struggles, combined with key personnel departures including Horner, Newey and Jonathan Wheatley, threatens their competitive position. Losing Verstappen would compound these challenges, potentially relegating them to midfield status. Mercedes, meanwhile, sees an opportunity to secure the sport's most talented driver, while Red Bull faces internal difficulties. Their engine development advantage for 2026 provides additional leverage in negotiations, offering Verstappen both competitive machinery and the operational freedom he values. The broader implications extend beyond individual team fortunes. Verstappen's potential move could reshape the competitive balance for 2026 and beyond, particularly given the new engine regulations. His presence at Mercedes, combined with their apparent power unit advantage, could establish a new period of dominance similar to their 2014-2020 run. These developments occur against the backdrop of Formula One's evolving commercial landscape. Driver valuations continue increasing as teams recognize the financial and competitive benefits of securing top talent. Verstappen's marketability, combined with his on-track performance, makes him the sport's most valuable asset. The resolution of these interconnected storylines will likely determine the competitive landscape for Formula One's next regulatory cycle. Whether Red Bull can retain their star driver through innovative contract structures, or whether Mercedes successfully poaches him using their technical advantages, will shape the sport's future trajectory in ways that extend far beyond individual race results. The former Red Bull Racing team leader has initiated legal action against his previous employer for unjust termination. This development has transformed what began as internal organizational tensions into a public legal confrontation that threatens to destabilize one of Formula One's most successful operations. The British motorsport executive, who previously guided the Austrian-owned team through multiple championship victories, has launched court proceedings demanding substantial financial compensation. The legal claim, reportedly worth $40 million, encompasses allegations of improper dismissal procedures and systematic damage to his professional standing. This extraordinary escalation marks a dramatic shift from what initially appeared to be routine leadership changes within the organization. Confidential sources suggest the lawsuit contains explosive revelations about internal corporate dysfunction and deliberate reputation destruction campaigns. The legal filing, submitted to London's High Court under strict confidentiality protocols, represents an unprecedented challenge to Red Bull's operational integrity. Information emerging from legal circles indicates the case centers on contractual violations involving mandatory investigation procedures that were allegedly bypassed or ignored entirely. According to the complaint, the defendant's contract contains specific provisions requiring thorough, impartial examination of any allegations before disciplinary action could be implemented. The plaintiff maintains these safeguards were deliberately circumvented due to internal political pressures and media-driven panic within the company's leadership structure. The lawsuit presents a timeline suggesting that boardroom anxiety, fueled by sensational press coverage and shareholder concerns, created an atmosphere of hasty decision-making. Rather than allowing proper investigative protocols to reach completion, senior management allegedly moved rapidly to terminate the employment relationship without adequate transparency or legal foundation. Legal representatives argue that this process violated both contractual obligations and fundamental principles of corporate governance, creating grounds for extensive monetary damages and reputation restoration. The case extends beyond financial recovery to encompass broader questions about fairness and procedural integrity within high-profile business environments. The $40 million demand includes unpaid performance bonuses, contract breach damages, and compensation for lost future earnings. However, the deeper implications involve an alleged defamation campaign designed to permanently destroy the plaintiff's career prospects within Formula One and international motorsport generally. Court documents describe a coordinated effort involving strategic media leaks, selective disclosure of sensitive internal information, and what sources characterize as systematic character assassination. This alleged campaign reportedly aimed not only at removing the individual from his position, but ensuring his permanent exclusion from the sport. The consequences are already manifesting throughout the industry. Sponsorship partners are demanding explanations from Red Bull's current management team. Companies with brand images built on integrity and transparency are reportedly monitoring legal developments before making long-term commercial commitments to the organization. Formula One's broader community is experiencing significant turbulence as speculation intensifies about the authenticity of these claims and the internal power dynamics that precipitated this public breakdown. Industry observers suggest this scandal could create permanent fractures within Red Bull's organizational foundation. Behind the scenes, Red Bull Racing maintains careful public silence while issuing measured statements defending their internal disciplinary procedures. However, sources indicate substantial turmoil among senior executives who are engaged in continuous crisis management sessions, attempting to limit reputational damage while maintaining competitive focus. There is growing concern that if litigation proceeds to public trial, extensive confidential communications, including emails, text messages, and meeting transcripts, could be subpoenaed and disclosed, potentially revealing corporate dysfunction far exceeding